Hello everyone, JHMedium here. Today I am in Okayama Prefecture, Japan. Come with me to explore the gorgeous Koraku-en in Okayama City, and the Bikan Historical Quarter in Kurashiki, which looks like you have been transported back to Edo period Japan. I'll also take a day trip to one of the most famous art islands in the country, Naoshima. Let's begin this 3-day trip around the Okayama area. Today I'm heading from Onomichi over to Okayama. It's very easy to get there by train. All you have to do is take the Sanyo line in the direction of Fukuyama or Okayama. It'll take a little more than 1 hour. There's still a couple minutes before the train comes. I'm going to enjoy my breakfast and fingers crossed that this will be a smoother day than yesterday. I like how the warm drinks in Japanese convenience stores are actually pretty hot. It's a good hand warmer in this cold weather. After the 1.5-hour train ride, I finally arrived in Okayama. I dropped off my suitcase at my hotel, and now I have 1 day to kill. To be honest, most of the things I have planned for Okayama are around the area, but not in the city center itself. I plan to go to Kurashiki, I plan to go to the art islands, but since today I only have half a day, I don't want to go to those destinations because those are all better for a full day's trip. Okayama is the second largest city here in the Chugoku region after Hiroshima, so I think there should still be quite a lot to explore. I figured out what I'm going to do for the rest of the day, but before I go visit the sites, of course I gotta get something to eat. And for my first meal here in Okayama, I'm going to have their iconic Demi-Katsudon. I came here at 11 right when it opened and it's already completely full. This place is so popular among the locals. You order with the machine in front, it's cash only, and then you just sit down and wait for your food. The Okayama Demi-Katsudon is very different from the regular katsudon you have in Japan, because other than the crispy pork, it comes with a glazed sauce on top. That sauce actually looks really delicious. I'm gonna dig in before the sauce soaks into the katsudon too much. That is really good. The sauce doesn't actually make the katsudon too soggy. You can still taste the crispy texture. I'm gonna try a bite with just the rice and the sauce so I can taste the flavor of the sauce. That is so interesting. It's sweet and savory at the same time, and you can taste a little bit of that alcohol flavor to it. I believe this sort of demi-glazed sauce is a very popular sauce used in French cooking, usually put on steak or something. But yeah, it works really well with this katsu. It's like a mixture between Japanese and Western culture. I think I can eat a bowl of rice just with that sauce itself. That's how good the sauce is. And to finish the meal, miso soup. Well, that was a unique and delicious meal, a great way to start my trip here in Okayama. Now I'm going to head to probably the most famous site in the city, the Okayama Koraku-en. I think I found the garden. It's over there across the river. There are very few people. It doesn't feel like the atmosphere of a big city in Japan. I'm guessing most people who come to Okayama are here for Kurashiki. I mean, I'm here for Kurashiki as well. But walking through Okayama City itself still feels very comfortable, and I bet the garden will be even better. I made it into the garden and the admission cost 500 yen. I find it incredible how almost every major Japanese city has one of these amazing gardens. I guess in the wintertime, the garden looks slightly bare because all the grass is yellow already. but the view is still really nice, especially with the Okayama Castle in the background. It's definitely the grass that makes this garden feel kind of barren. Everything else is still very green. Climbing up to this house over here gives you a perfect view of Okayama Castle. Okayama Koraku-en is one of the 3 great gardens in Japan. Completed in the 1700s, it was a place for the local feudal lord to relax and welcome important guests. Unlike many traditional Japanese gardens that feel intimate and dense, Koraku-en is famous for its vast open lawn, and a large pond in the middle featuring miniature islands. Although the garden was heavily damaged in World War II, it was later restored to its Edo period appearance. I'm not sure what type of bird this is, but it's so beautiful. This right beside me is a cherry blossom grove. I've never been to Japan during cherry blossom season because I think there will probably be way too many people. But just looking at this group of trees over here, I can already imagine it will be absolutely stunning during that season. I think in terms of variety in the landscape, Shukeien I visited earlier in Hiroshima is more impressive, but here it's just the scale of this garden. There's so much open space. It feels like a giant park in the backyard of the castle for people to enjoy. These Japanese gardens really are the best. You can understand why every single feudal lord back then wants one of these in their backyard. So yeah, Okayama Koraku-en is definitely a must visit in the city, and if you're here during spring or summer, you gotta come here for sure. Your ticket to the garden is actually valid for 1 day. You can enter again. Just show your ticket to the staff member at the gate. But I don't think I'm gonna go back today. Now I'm gonna cross the bridge into Ujo Park underneath the Okayama Castle. Is it just me, or is Okayama Castle a lot smaller than the regular castles you see here in Japan? Standing underneath it, it feels tiny. Okayama Castle is nicknamed the Crow Castle because of its black exterior, whereas most castles in Japan are white-walled. There are also bright, golden, fish-shaped sculptures on the roofs, which match perfectly with the dark backdrop. The castle was originally built in the 16th century, but the one we see here today was reconstructed after the Second World War. Since I've already been to so many castle museums in Japan, I think I'll skip going inside the Okayama Castle on this trip. You can probably tell now that yeah, Okayama Castle is quite mini. It feels more like a big house or something. Compared to the cities I visited earlier on this trip, Okayama really does seem a lot more niche, I guess. Of course, no matter where you go in Japan, there's gonna be tourists, both local and foreign, but I feel like the people here is not at the same level as the people in Hiroshima or Onomichi. I guess if Onomichi is an escape from the big cities, Okayama feels like being in a big city without actually feeling like you're in a big city. When you walk around the streets of Okayama, you might notice that this is a very artistic looking city. There are these statues everywhere on the streets. I'm not quite sure what they are, just seem to be very creative displays. And then you have these mailboxes which each have a unique design on them. It's really cool. Also, the manhole covers are well designed as well. I'm not sure if this is a common thing in Japanese cities. I know the manhole cover thing is more common, but I've never seen a city with this many statues and cool mailboxes before. The sun really sets so early in the winter here. It's not even 5 o'clock yet. If for some reason you don't want to eat at a restaurant in Japan, another great place to get a quick and cheap bite is at the local Aeon Mall, or any supermarket in a large shopping mall. Tonight I got a salmon bento, a salad, and a pudding for less than 800 yen total. If you already like the food in Japanese convenience stores, then the cooked food section in supermarkets is even cheaper and tastes better too. So I'm gonna eat my dinner and I'll see you guys tomorrow when I head to Kurashiki. Good morning from Kurashiki. It is around 7:30 right now. The Kurashiki city itself is actually quite substantial, even though the historical quarter part that I'm visiting today is not that big. I am here very early in the morning because, as you know me, I like to arrive before all the other tourists do, so I can see the site relatively empty for a while. A place like Kurashiki must be super crowded later in the day. Just kidding, I'm completely wrong. There's already so many people here. I know many places in Japan face the problem of over-tourism, but coming here this early in the morning, you don't really feel it. The only thing you hear is the street noise far in the distance, people riding past on bicycles, the workers sweeping the branches off the streets in the morning to make this place even cleaner. An atmosphere like this is why I enjoy coming to Japan so much. And you can enjoy it as well if you just wake up a little bit earlier in the morning. Nothing here is open right now. The tourist information center is not open. I think most of the stores open at around 9 or 10 o'clock. So there's still an hour or two before all the people start flooding in. Kurashiki was a very important area during the Edo period. The name of the city roughly translates to the town of storehouses. Back then, many of the houses along the canal were used to store rice. The Bikan Historical Quarter I'm at right now is the centerpiece of Kurashiki, and it really is a great place to sort of experience the atmosphere of old Japan. But of course, these historical houses no longer are used to store rice. They're converted into gift shops, restaurants, and many cafes. Other than enjoying the atmosphere, there's actually not much to do around here before all the shops open at 9 o'clock. So I think I'm just gonna wander around the area, maybe find some more cool photo spots. If you don't want to come here as early as I did, I still recommend coming maybe at around 8:30, so you can still see the streets relatively empty when the shops are closed. The atmosphere will be completely different when everything else is open. So I made my way up to the Achi Shrine, which is on a hilltop, and sort of behind the trees you can see the entire cityscape. The color of the Shimenawa under the morning sun is so beautiful. The Achi Shrine is located on Mount Tsurugata, just a little north of the Bikan Historical Quarter. This shrine was built to worship the three goddesses of Munakata, who are known to be the guardians of the sea and voyages. This was very important for Kurashiki, as the city was a major crossroads for trade. Right after visiting the Achi Shrine, I think it's just in time for some of the shops in the historical quarter to start opening. Yep, the town is now very lively, and I think this is a good time to go on a little boat ride through the canal. I got the first time slot at 9:30 in the morning. You get the ticket over at the Tourist Information Center, which opens at 9 a.m., and it costs 700 yen. I just boarded a little boat. They gave me this hat to block out the sun, and I think the ride will be around 20 minutes going through this canal. This is quite wonderful. It turns out this experience is not just a boat ride, it's a brief history and architecture tour of the historical quarter. This building, where the Tourist Information Center is located, was built in 1917 and used to be the town hall of Kurashiki. The beam of this bridge over here, Nakabashi, is made from one solid piece of granite. The builder even carved his name on the bottom of the bridge, but I can't really see it. So I just finished the boat ride. I thought it was going to go further down the canal, but it's actually just in this street I was walking at earlier. The boat ride itself was 20 minutes, but it felt a lot longer than I expected it to be. And surprisingly, the tour is in English as well, so you can learn a bit about the buildings in this area. Even though the route was very short, it was still super informative. Now that all the shops are open, I'm gonna go check out some of the stores and see what they sell here. I also definitely want to get a postcard from Kurashiki. I didn't know this, but Kurashiki is actually the heart of Japan's denim industry. That's why around these streets, there are so many shops selling denim or denim-related products. Denim bears. There's even a denim-themed food stall over there where everything is blue. I don't think I'm gonna try that, but it looks really interesting. This Rilakkuma denim store is cute though. For lunch today, I'm gonna have some udon. I'm here in this self-service udon restaurant. And when I say self-service, I do mean literally completely self-service. To the point where you even have to cook your udon yourself. You first go choose which size of udon you want, and then you choose all the other toppings that you want with it. They only have udon and tempura. I got an onion tempura and some sort of Oden tempura, I guess. And of course, on top of the udon, we gotta put some spring onions. Loads of spring onions. Time to dig in and try the udon. That is some nice udon, perfectly chewy, just how I like it. To be honest, udon is my favorite type of Japanese noodle, just the noodle itself. If I can combine udon with ramen, I would. Unfortunately, udon is usually this type of plain broth. I really love udon, mainly because of the texture. I just prefer thicker noodles in general. I'm gonna take a bite into this giant piece of onion tempura. I think it's like one entire onion made into a tempura or something. Very delicious bowl of udon here in Kurashiki. I know I rarely give negative comments about food, but that onion tempura just wasn't it. Don't get it. In this restaurant, you can sit on normal tables and chairs, or you can sit on the traditional Japanese tatami. Of course, I chose the tatami. After a short break, my first stop in the afternoon is Kanryuji. Whereas the Achi Shrine I visited earlier in the morning was a Shinto shrine, Kanryuji is a Buddhist temple. For much of its history, the lines between Japanese Shintoism and Buddhism were very blurred, with many people worshipping deities from both religions. During the Meiji Restoration, the government declared an official separation of the two faiths. Before that, Kanryu Temple and Achi Shrine were actually part of the same complex on this small mountain. That's why you can see a Shinto gate inside this Buddhist temple. And if you want to see a cityscape of Kurashiki, this is actually a better viewpoint because there are no trees blocking the view. The second floor of the Tourist Information Center actually has a great vantage point of the canal. It's a free area where you can sit and just have a rest. I got some postcards on the first floor shop, and now I'm gonna write one for a friend. The weather definitely got slightly worse in the afternoon, and I just got an alert on my phone saying there's going to be a thunderstorm coming in the next 30 minutes or so. I don't really feel like being drenched today. So I think this is a good time to conclude my day trip here in Kurashiki. Even with all the people here in the afternoon, this is still a very lovely neighborhood to walk around, just to enjoy the atmosphere. The alleyways and canals are both very charming, and this is the winter time where there's not too much greenery, and I already love this experience so much. Just imagine what it will look like in the summer, in the spring, with the willows on this canal, or maybe the cherry blossom covering the entire area. So yeah, I highly recommend everyone visiting Kurashiki. Of course, from Okayama City, it'll be the easiest, but I'm pretty sure it's even doable if you want to do a day trip from, let's say, Osaka or something. And now it's time to head back to Okayama before it starts raining. Hello again from Okayama. It did indeed rain a little bit in the afternoon. Light rain, but I think still enough to get you soaked. I took a short break at my hotel and now I'm nearby at the Nishikawa River. During the winter season, there's actually a light display along the entire river. I know there's a similar thing in Kurashiki as well, but I didn't want to stay there until the evening. Here in Okayama though, it's still really beautiful. I think this is a great way to make the riverside during the wintertime feel lively again. Usually there are no leaves on the trees and everything just feels quite boring during the winter. They even have a little platform here designed so you can take photos with Illumination. It's a very nice touch. So that's the end of day 2 here in Okayama Prefecture. Tomorrow I have one more day here, though the place I'm going to tomorrow is not technically in Okayama anymore, but it's a great day trip from Okayama. I'm gonna head to Naoshima Island, one of the most famous art islands here in Japan. So good night and see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, today I am heading to Naoshima Island. In order to go to Naoshima Island, I first have to take a train and then transfer to a ferry. First, my destination is Uno Port. From Okayama Station, find the Uno Port line and ride all the way to the terminal station. It should take around an hour or so. I've arrived in Uno. The ferry terminal sign for Naoshima is pretty obvious, so just look for this big red sign, you probably won't miss it. I just bought my boat ticket. It costs 600 yen round trip. The ferry tickets here are cash only, and you're not allowed to use the typical Japanese IC cards, which is pretty strange, so definitely keep some cash on you when visiting Naoshima. There's still around 40 minutes to kill until the boat comes, so I'm just gonna wander around the Uno Port area. This is such a lovely little seaside city. The water today is this perfect blue, and luckily there's not too much wind right now. Hopefully it stays like that for the rest of the day. Over there I can already see Naoshima Island in the distance. It's not that far away. If you have some time to spare at Uno Port, you can come check out the Sea Bream of Uno. I believe these two fish sculptures over here are made from sea trash and recycled material. It's really colorful. It's like a rainbow color scheme. The fish eye is made from a frying pan. While the sea bream sculptures are pretty cool, if those are really all made from trash collected from the sea, it's also a bit saddening. Ooh, looks like that's the boat I'm gonna take. I better start heading back soon. I have boarded the ferry over to Naoshima. The first floor of the ferry is actually all for cars, and passengers are on top. The ferry ride should take around 20 minutes. This ferry takes you from Uno to Takamatsu and Shikoku, with Naoshima as a stop in the middle. The wind got a little bit too strong on the sun deck, so I decided to come inside. I think we're nearly there already. The most convenient way to get around this island is to take the town bus. It costs 100 yen per trip, and it will bring you to pretty much all the places you will want to go to, all the famous museums. I just took the bus over to the furthest point, near the Beneath House and the Chichu Art Museum. While Naoshima Island is a cool place to visit, there is one slight issue. In terms of making a travel video for you guys, it might be very difficult here, because this island and most of its museums have a strict no photo policy, and pretty much all of the museums here have a strict no video policy. So I'm really only allowed to shoot outdoors in these public installations that are not part of any museum. I can't show you anything that's inside these museums. I'm not sure what really is the scope of this photography videography ban, so I think I'm only going to vlog in these public areas just so I don't get in trouble. But luckily, there's still many art installations around the island that you are allowed to shoot and take photos of, and the most famous ones are without a doubt the pumpkins by Yayoi Kusama. Don't look at that pumpkin for too long, there are way too many dots. I think there's also one red one near the ferry pier that I'll check out later before I leave the island. This statue right here is supposedly a frog and a cat. I think the bottom part is the frog and the top part is the cat. For some things that you see on this island, you really have to wonder, is it art? Art doesn't make any sense to me, but all I can say, it's pretty cool. As I head over to the Chichu Art Museum, I'm gonna put my cameras away and try to enjoy the museum without filming anything for a change. I'm not sure how strict these museums are with their policies, but I definitely don't want to be that one tourist who breaks the rules. So I just finished the Chichu Art Museum and I'm back at this cat and frog statue. I did not go to the Beneath house right beside me because if you do enter every single museum, it's going to end up costing quite a lot of money. The Chichu Art Museum is the most famous one here. I put my phone and camera away, but I did still see a few people sneak a couple of shots with their phone. Probably don't do that. Many of the art museums here, including the Beneath House and the Chichu Art Museum, are designed by famous Japanese architect Tadao Ando. The architecture is really amazing. It has this industrial look to it. It's very gray, but it looks really cool. The exhibits inside, I don't have much comments about it. It's art, it's beautiful. But honestly, my favorite art piece in this area is still Yayoi Kusama's pumpkin, and that's free for everyone to see. So that's it for this part of the island. I think right now I'm gonna go find something to eat, and then after lunch, I'll see what other art installations I can find. After a quick lunch at a small ramen shop owned by an elderly couple, it's time to head to my next area of the day. I'm gonna head to the Honmura area. Walking through Naoshima Island, there really aren't that many cars or people around in general. These uphill, downhill sections make it very tough to ride a bicycle. So if you do want to ride a bicycle here, I highly recommend getting an e-bike. Or if you have more time, just walk around. The island is not even that big. Walking through Naoshima really does give you the feeling of walking through rural Japan, but maybe like a more artsy version of rural Japan, because there really are art installations everywhere just scattered throughout this island. The most popular thing to see in the Honmura area is definitely the Art House Project, a collection of 7 different old village houses that have been turned into art pieces. I bought a combo ticket that includes 5 of the houses. This art house project is underneath this Shinto shrine. It's completely underground. It's quite dark inside. The only light you get is from this glass staircase, similar to the one above ground. It makes me think that this isn't really even a real Shinto shrine. So far, these art house projects have been a bit underwhelming. I got the 5 house pass at 1,200 yen, but apparently if you just want to visit one of them, it will cost you 600 yen. If you were really curious, get the 1,200 yen one and visit all 5, but do not pay 600 yen just to visit one of them. After checking out 2 more houses, I am at the 5th house of the day. I just finished visiting the last art house project, Haisha. I think Haisha might be the most interesting one so far. The outside building is really nice. It looks like the entire building is made out of scraps, like scrap metal or something. And inside you will find a giant Statue of Liberty. Now I'm making my way back to the ferry station. Let me find a place to sit down and I'll share with you my honest thoughts about the art house projects. But I mean, you can probably already guess what my opinion is. Even the ferry has dots on it. I mean, it could be the Japanese flag. So I made it back to the pier and the ferry doesn't leave for around 50 minutes or so. Gives me some time to explore this area. But I just want to talk about the art house projects again. Honestly, it wasn't for me. Whenever I visit a new location, I try to keep an open mind. Don't trust all the reviews necessarily, but after visiting, I can say it was seriously underwhelming. I've decided to not show you guys too much because for those who are interested and don't trust what I have to say, if I show you everything I saw, maybe there'll be nothing else to see in that place. I really want this channel to be a positive space, but yeah, you can tell by my expression and my feeling that it was really not what I expected. Let's just leave the negativity at that. I think Naoshima Island as a whole is still a brilliant place to visit. It just has that artistic atmosphere. The streets have that calm, rural Japanese vibe to it. The ocean view is absolutely spectacular. And then with these art pieces just scattered around the island, it seems like everywhere you go, you will see a piece of art. This island really is the case where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Now thinking about it, if you really want a free trip to Naoshima, other than transportation costs, I think it's totally doable. If you like these small art pieces, if you want to wander through a place that feels like a living art museum, Naoshima is the island for you. Even though there's tons of paid areas, there's tons of free areas for you to enjoy as well. For example, the Yayoi Kusama pumpkins. I still need to go to the red one right there over at the pier. This red one is a lot bigger than the yellow one, and you can actually go inside. I have once again reached Uno Station, and now I'm going to take the train back to Okayama City. This also concludes my trip here in Okayama Prefecture. If you're new here, do consider subscribing to the channel for more Japan videos coming soon. JHMedium here, and see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.